In this video, we're going to look at some slightly more complicated two-bracket expansions, such that we might have a two-term bracket times a three-term bracket, for example, or later, a three-term bracket times a three-term bracket, and so on. And you can then extrapolate this to apply this to any number of terms or any number of brackets. Now, just looking at a general expression, if we have a linear bracket, such as x plus a, times a quadratic bracket, such that x squared plus bx plus c, to expand this, all that you have to do is ensure that every term from the first bracket multiplies every term from the second bracket. Now, an easy way to do this, I find, is to take the first expression in the first bracket, so in this case x, and then multiply it by all the terms in the second bracket. Then take the second term in the first bracket, multiply that by all of the terms in the second bracket, and so on if there are further terms. So in the case of our general expression, we've got x times x squared to get x cubed, x times bx is bx squared, x times c, cx. Then moving to the second term, a times x squared is ax squared, a times bx is abx, a times c is ac. And as before, we can collect some of the like terms, so collect the x squared terms and collect the x terms. But we will do a little bit more on this idea later when we look at factorising. So, 6a then. If we take our first term, which is x, multiply it by the first term of the second bracket, which is x squared, gets us x cubed. The x, then multiplying the 3x, is plus 3x squared. The x times the minus 5, minus 5x. Moving to the second term then, we have plus 2 times x squared is plus 2 x squared. 2 times the 3x is plus 6x. And 2 times the minus 5 is minus 10. Now, before we go to simplify this expression, the good thing to check is if you've got the correct number of terms. Because this is a 2 bracket times a 3 bracket expression, 2 times 3 is 6, so I would expect to have 6 terms here, which indeed I do, which is a very good sign. And it's at this stage we can then simplify. So I've got x cubed, as before. I then have my x squared terms, which I can collect, plus 3x squared plus 2x squared is plus 5x squared. And then if I collect my x terms, minus 5x plus 6x is plus 1x, or just plus x, and then minus 10 at the end. When you simplify, you would expect the number of terms to reduce from the original amount. Moving on to b then. This time we have a 3 bracket expression times a 2 bracket expression. Now we could switch the order, and actually it doesn't matter because it's multiplication, but let's keep the order as it is and follow a similar idea. So we take our first term, multiply it by the first term of the second bracket, so we've got x squared times 2x squared, which is 2x to the power of 4, using our index laws, power of 2, you add them, power of 4. And x squared times minus 3x is minus 3x cubed, again, using the index law, 2 power of 1 there, add them together, 2 plus 1 is 3. Then if we move to the next term, so we have 2x times 2x squared is plus 4x cubed. The 2x times the minus 3x is minus 6x squared. And then finally, we take our last term from the first bracket, minus 3, times that by the 2x squared, so we get minus 6x squared. And the minus 3 times the minus 3x, careful with the minuses, minus times a minus becomes a plus, so plus 9x. Again, the double check, we have a 3 term times a 2 term, 3 times 2 is 6, and indeed I have 6 terms here, so that's a good sign. But we look again and we say, we've got some like terms that we can collect together. So I have 2x to the 4. I have minus 3x cubed plus 4x cubed, which is plus 1x cubed, or just plus x cubed. I have minus 6x squared minus another 6x squared, which is minus 12x squared. And at the end, I have plus 9x. Once again, my number of terms are dropped from the original 6, in this case, to 4. Moving on to C then, slightly longer again. This time we have a 3-term bracket times another 3-term bracket. But we follow the same process. So we take our 2x squared, times it by the x squared in the first bracket, 2x to the power of 4. 2x squared times plus 4x is plus 6x cubed. 2x squared times minus 3 minus 6x squared. So we've dealt with the first term. Then we move to the second term. Minus 3x times x squared is minus 3x cubed. Minus 3x times plus 4x is minus 12x squared. Minus 3x times minus 3 plus 9x, taking the minuses into account. And then finally, we have plus 1 times this bracket, which actually means that we're going to get each of these 3 terms. So we're going to get a plus x squared plus 4x minus 3. Obviously, if it wasn't a 1, you need to take that into account with the terms as well. So we've got our expansion. Again, the double check is 3 terms times 3 terms. 3 times 3 is 9. And when you count them, indeed, you have 9 terms. So that's a good sign. Now we just need to simplify. So we have 2x to the 4. We then go and circle our next descending power, so our cubes, plus 8x cubed minus 3x cubed is plus 5x cubed. We then have our x squared terms. So minus 6x squared minus 12x squared plus 1x squared. So minus 18 plus 1 is minus 17x squared. And then we have our x terms. So plus 9x plus 4x is plus 13x. And then right at the end, we have our minus 3. So again, our 9 terms, which we would expect, have now simplified in this case to 5 terms. And it's always good to have them in descending powers of x. So x to the 4, x cubed, x squared, x, and then really x to the 0 or no x's there. And that's how we do some slightly more complicated 2 bracket expansions.